Hello! Hello everyone. I hope that the closed captions are working. Because I tried installing it, but I don't know if you can move the box around. Because I already have the Cult of the Lamb. I have the Cult of the Lamb overlay thingy. And I see that the captions aren't working that well. But that's okay, we're trying. Also, hello plane. Bruh. Why are you not working properly? Maybe my accent is too thick. Or maybe it's because I'm whispering, I have no idea. Is it not works it Chrome? Oh. It seemed to work well with... Oh, maybe it's just because I'm like whispering. Or maybe I'm talking too fast. Or maybe it's just the captions problem. Yeah, maybe are the captions. The captions are the problem. You know, it's there. Can toggle them on and off. Hope that you're doing fine though. I'm doing great, everybody. Hi Velpa. Hi Vale. Hi Demon Eye. Hi Pan Pan. Hi Squid. Hello Eyes. Hi Nino. Hi Dummy. Hi Ruben. And hi to everybody else. Come on, Velpa, you've been here since forever. You're not fooling anybody. Okay, so this, sorry, Twitter is not working, so I need to do my spamming on Discord. Pew, pew, pew. Some keyboard sounds for you while I do that. Okay, now I can copy paste. Beep. Doopity beep da. Dappity beep da. Okay, I'm almost done. It shouldn't take long, I promise. Promise. I need to send it here in the self promo of this Discord server, then in the self promotion of this other Discord server, and then in the latest Discord server, and I'm done. Okay. Hello, Track. So, how was your day, guys? I hope that you had a great day. We're not reading a mirror mode. No, wait. Oh, there it is. Plane, can you not? If you want, I can scream in your ears, Volpo. Oh, hello, KFC. Welcome. I wonder if since it's like VTuber takeover or whatever on Twitch, I wonder if I'll be featured in like recommendations, It would be cool. It would be very cool. Never needs it's my big day. Hell yeah. So, did you do something interesting today, guys? I hope so. Oh, really? Well, I'm happy to hear that Twitch is recommending my streams. I actually did not expect to be recommended, but it's nice to know that I'm managing to be noticed by the algorithm, which is weird because usually it happens the opposite. I've been like shadow banned multiple times on Instagram when I still used it for absolutely no reason at all. So it's nice to see a change of pace. Oh, let me stretch for a second. Thank you for reminding me to drink. Dummy. Just so it. It's cool to see some growth. And it's so weird to me because I'm not used to it. I think I'll get imposter syndrome at one point. Hello, Mommy Enjoyer, how are you? I'll probably get imposter syndrome, yeah. Why so many plays tonight? Thank you for asking. Just waiting for the planes to fly away and far from my house. I don't know if I should be laughing at this pun and at your pun eyes or just look at you with a very disappointed face. Right. A bit of a sad news, but neighbor, my neighbor just died today. He was an old man. He was like 80, and it didn't really surprise me to hear the news because he was on a wheelchair. Came back from the hospital not too long ago, and he already looked like it was dying, so like I expected it to happen sooner than later. So he went in a coma this morning and then died around midday. I remember my grandpa had a fight with him, and they never made up after that fight because they were accusing each other of throwing rocks in each other's garden. I don't know who was in the right, honestly. It happened like 20 years ago at this point. Yeah, he was. Hello, Archie, by the way. Nah, he was. Okay, so a little bit of a gossip hasn't hurt anybody, and it's not like my neighbors watch my streams or know English, so the family of my neighbor, they hired a lady to watch over him 4 hours per day. Problem is, she kind of took advantage of my now deceased neighbor, and she basically convinced him, since he was feeling a bit lonely, to let her move in with him, and so she didn't have to pay rent, she didn't have to pay for gas, for the bills, for like anything almost, and she was getting paid 4 hours to look over him, and the rest of the hours she went to look over other people and left my neighbor alone. And she told to the family members of my neighbor that if they wanted her to stay 24 hours with him, they would have to like actually, make her a contract, a legal binding contract, and pay her more. And it didn't do that, so like she left him alone for most of the day. She went on to do her business, and I like came back, watched him for 4 hours, probably like she counted them for the night and called it a go. And the problem is that she was always like away for the majority of the day, and she didn't really look over my neighbor, and he was malnourished, dehydrated, and had an urinary infection when they brought him to the hospital the first time. On top of that, I think he got COVID a while ago, and that made things worse for his health. Hello, Ferox. Another plane, of course. Okay, before continuing, I'll let him pass by. Mommy, enjoy you're such a good blood bag. Thank you for feeding your queen. Your blood is very tasty. Okay, so he ended up like they called an ambulance like 3 times, and the first 2 they released him the day after, but at the third one they kept him in the hospital. Problem is he was already way too far gone between the dehydration, the malnutrition, and the infection. When they finally released him from the hospital after like I think 1 month passed and he was back, he had to move on a wheelchair, like he had to sit on a wheelchair because if he tried to move he kept on falling down. He was unable to eat solid food and they had to feed him via a straw because he didn't want to, like, he didn't want the girl that was like looking over him while the other girl was on vacation. Like, he had to drink with straws. He was like, again, as I was saying, it was very clear that he was slowly but surely dying. He also, oh yeah, right, I forgot. This poor man, like, he suffered from Alzheimer too. We don't know like the stage of his Alzheimer. If it, like, his sister said to my grandma that it was like sometime already passed since yeah, but I swear I'm not laughing. I'm just hearing some gossip. Oh no, Archie, sorry. I think it is your internet because it's not buffering for me. But like, basically, since let me actually look for the right term of the job. Caretaker, there it is. Like, his caretaker left this poor man that was already suffering from Alzheimer, had also like senile dementia or whatever it's called, was already like barely walking around. He kept on leaving him alone in the house for the majority of the day. Like, she didn't properly check on him. She didn't check if he was hydrating enough, if he wasn't drinking enough or eating enough. He was decaying, like his health was decaying because she didn't care properly for him. And like, I think if he was in better hands, he wouldn't be in that state right now. And I am so sorry, but like at the same time, we, as in we, like me and my family and the other neighbors, couldn't really do anything because the caretaker that the family of my neighbor employed wasn't like a regular employer. She was like working but had no contract. She wasn't declaring the money she was making, and like they knew that she was like going around instead of staying with my neighbor basically. And like, it still makes me feel bad, but like, we really couldn't even report her to the police either, because she could have said that like the people employing her knew she was doing that, so like it was overall a better situation for everybody. And now we fear that she convinced this poor old man to like leave her the house. I mean, she convinced him to buy her a new fucking car. Okay, it wouldn't surprise me if he would leave her the house too, which she has no rights over, by the way. And he can't announce me that there's this possibility, because she doesn't deserve that house. The way she treated that man, honestly, it's kinda disgusting. Nothing ever meant me to drink Ferox. Yeah, it is. I can't imagine how is someone living a vulnerable elderly man in those conditions alone for like 10 hours straight. That's just mind blowing to me. Like, who does that? How much of a bitch must you be? Who in their sane mind would do that? Yeah, she took full advantage of that man because she knew there wouldn't be legal consequences for her. Because like the people paying her would be in trouble too if like they decided to take action against her. And it just makes me angry. Yeah, like I'm not saying that my neighbor was like the greatest person, because like he really wasn't, but that's like none of my business. And regardless, it's an elderly person that needs help, and even if he wasn't hassle to like his family members, as far as I know, it wasn't like the greatest father or shit like that, but like come on, he didn't kill anybody. And it just makes me angry, you know, because like I think of my grandpa and the way he was like always under medication. He spent his last years on a wheelchair. He couldn't do anything by himself. He was constantly in pain. He needed to be taken care of. I imagine my grandpa in the same situation of my neighbor. It just breaks my heart, because he could have been my grandpa. He could have been anybody's grandpa. There are people that are in the same, if not worse situation. It just breaks my heart to think about it. And I can't do anything about it. Even like, hello FBI. Yeah. You know, I believe in karma. I think eventually karma will catch up to her. Yeah, like honestly, I have no idea why they didn't pay the contract. Probably because they would have paid a lot more than going without a contract. But in my opinion, they were very stupid to not sign a contract regardless. Yeah, you're paying more, but at least you know that she's actually taking care of your brother, you know? Alright, I'll drink all of your blood, Archie, promise. Hello, Piede, how you doing? Like, it pisses me off how, on top of not taking care of my neighbor, she used this money, managed to live in his house for free, managed to make him buy a car for her, and it got to the point where she conditioned that poor guy so much that like they couldn't even hire a different caretaker because my neighbor would cry. He would insult the other caretakers because they weren't that one caretaker. Like, he was so manipulated to that point, and like they preferred to keep on hiring her to make him happy, but in the long run it ended up in one of the worst case scenarios, and it's sad. Pena, you love me, say 22%. Since the boat. Yeah, that is sad. Like, I've been living with this person as neighbor for like 15 years. Start of 15-20 years. I honestly can't remember how long. And yeah, I don't like her. I'll be honest, I don't like her because she takes advantage of the poor old people that she takes care of, and she thinks she thinks she's always right. She thinks very highly of herself and is not humble, not even like one bit. She had a fight with my mom, I don't even remember for what, and she refused to talk to my mama and my grandma, sorry, because my grandpa already had left us when it happened. Like, she refused to basically talk to any of us, if I'll be honest, to any of us for like one whole year, for like a petty. Oh yeah, right. I remember what the fight was about, and my mom was right, by the way, because mine, this girl, this woman, because like she's a mother on top of that, but whatever. Like, this woman, she had COVID. We knew she had COVID. Like, it wasn't just a what if. We knew she had it, and she kept on going out of the house while she was sick with COVID. And my mom, one day, like, told her like something like along the lines of, X, you shouldn't be going out if you have COVID, because you're spreading it around, and it's not a good thing to do because we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're trying to win over this virus, and if you go out you spread it around and you end up like passing it down to other people, and it's not a good thing because we're not vaccinated. And she got so angry. She said something like, mind your own fucking business to your mom. I don't know, she kept on screaming at her, and like she didn't talk to us for like one whole year after that happened. And I'll be honest, I was tempted to call the police. I was so fucking tempted to look out of the window, wait for her to go out and call the fucking police, because like Italy was in quarantine. You were in a red zone. You could not leave the house if you had COVID at all, not even for groceries. I was so fucking tempted to call the police and report her. You have no idea. I didn't do it because my mom and my dad told me to not cause drama and make the situation worse or something. Like they didn't want to fight with the neighbor or with the neighbor. But I wanted so badly. I regret listening to them because maybe this would have led to her being like taken away from my neighbor. Like, I don't know, I feel like if you are around an old man and you have COVID and you're like going around all of the places, I think the police would have done something to not let her near my neighbor anytime soon, you know. I still regret not doing that, but like my mom was adamant. She got angry at me because I was about to call. She was like, no, don't do that. Don't wanna fight with the neighbor. I don't wanna cause drama. Then everybody's gonna be mad at us because we called the police over her and stuff like that. Let me grab a snack because I'm a bit hungry. I'll be right back. Okay, here I am. I grabbed an apple. Because I'm eating too many bad things. Oh, what's happening? Hello King Shadow, welcome. Everything's great. I just grabbed a piece of apple. Yum yum yum. Oh, also let me make a bowl. We'll be finishing the pen pal chapter at the end of the stream as always, by the way. So I'm not including reading in the options. There it is. Please feel free to vote in the poll. I will be biting a little piece off of my apple. So hi Rob. I love apples. They're my favorite fruit. Amongst, well, a lot of fruit. I like fruit in general, but there's something about apples that taste very good. Thank you, Ferox. I will gladly take some ice cream as well. Thank you very much. What flavor though? Yeah, my apple isn't as dry as other apples I've tried. This one is pretty juicy. Chocolate. Nice. I love chocolate ice cream. It's a tasty flavor. Isn't it the same thing? Isn't cacao just like the thing that is used to make chocolate? Isn't it like the same flavor? I love cookies and cream. I have some still left. Yeah, I thought it was the same as well. Oh, that's that kind of chocolate. Oh, thank you for reminding me to drink FBI. Let me see if Twitter is working, so I can do the announcement of the last stream there too. Nope. Twitter is still not working. Yep. Still not working. Wait, how is it working for you? It's not loading for me. Are you on your phone? Or is it just the browser not working? Huh. Also, it's the browser not working. Interesting. Damn, that's so annoying. Oh, if you haven't voted yet, please feel free to do so. Oh, why is you're so unlucky? At least it's working on mobile for me. No, Twitter isn't really a flex though. Like, if someone hasn't Twitter, I'm bowing to them because they're staying away from negativity. Want a piece of apple, Nino? Hey, good job as a moderator. Think ducks like apples? I don't know. Do ducks like apples? I should check. Hello, Stray. How you doing? Oh, also, I'm preparing the graphic for the Sabaton, and I will be announcing it ASAP. And then it depends. Some horny people are very weird. There's like the nice horny and the extremely weird horny. They send you dick pics when you don't ask to. Hi Deku, thank you for the lurk. Oh, thank you so much. And I wish you a very good night of sleep and sweet dreams. Thank you for lurking again. Sleep well. Hi Mike. I don't know, but you're in the between. Sometimes you're a little bit weird. But you're not like weird, you know, you're the good kind of weird. I think I got, yeah, So I have no clue how it happened, but I have a little cut on the top part of my mouth. No, Volpa is trying to be so for one whole week, and if he loses, he has to buy me the other Among Us plushie, the pink one, that I kinda want to. So I can have it next to my 2 other Among Us plushies. What do you mean in that walk? You can type it in Italian if it's easier. Because I don't get the context straight. No, I want the Among Us. I want the other Among Us plushie. Okay, it's either the 20 euros Among Us plushies or the 200 euros SSD available. Okay. I bet you don't want to spend 200 euros. Hello, Foxy. Yeah, Archie. I think it's time to sleep. I hope you didn't hurt yourself though, because a phone on your face can hurt. Thank you for passing by to say hi, and have a great night and sweet dreams. Bye. Oh no, the poll results are gone. I didn't see who won. Who won the poll? Oh, but why are you giving so much money to me? Alright. And here is your glove, Roman. I'll be massaging it like that for a while, because I'm also finishing my apple. I'm not saying you can't fall on. Was just wondering. I'm not used to getting gifts, so every time one of you gives me something, it's like I feel like it's Christmas to me. Like, I don't know, it makes me so happy, even if it's just like a 2 euros gift, you know. I'll be honest, it makes me want to cry out of happiness. I've never been treated with gifts, if not for my birthday or Christmas. Have a nice dinner, Nino. I want books. I love reading. I think you guys know that I do at this point. I'm halfway through the book of American Psycho, by the way, and unfortunately, there are some very explicit descriptions of sex scenes that are several pages long, and they're making me very uncomfortable. But I don't like to skip pages, so I'm trying my best to read through them anyway, but it just makes me so uncomfortable. I think I'll skip the next time there's one, to my very sad surprise, because if I was able, at least what I thought is, if I am able to read the fucking Secret Garden at 6 years old without skipping even one page, then it shouldn't be that hard to go through 2 pages of extremely uncomfy sex scenes. I mean, I've read 20 pages that were only of descriptions on one single room in that book. It shouldn't be that hard, but it is. Joshua 65441. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Yeah, surprise. Hello, Kara says. I was talking a little bit about the book I'm reading. I know they're kind of important to establish the character and like his views, but that makes me so uncomfortable. And like the one that I've read was pretty fairly quote unquote normal until the very last couple of sentences, but like it was like reading a fucking I don't know, like a porn script or something like that, but it made me so uncomfy. Like, I'd rather read 10 pages of Patrick Bateman describing the content of his wardrobe than read those 2 sex scene pages again, honestly. Mom, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Enjoy the emotes. Apple. I'm at the last slice of apple. So let me check the content of the next chapter. I haven't started reading it yet, but I swear to God, if it's another sex scene, I'm gonna cry. Okay, now it's him going to shopping. Ooh. Like, I don't know, it's more uncomfortable reading the sex scenes than the murders, which is sort of weird if you think about it. Alright, I'll go bring the blade where I had the apples to the kitchen and wash it, and I'll be RB. Okay, here I am. Hello, Hunter. Welcome. Many bites you need to eat an apple. I cut it in small slices. I was taking a bite or two out of each slice. Guys, right, just a reminder, we're taking trigger requests, so if you have specific triggers that you like and that I can do with my Blue Yeti, feel free to ask and I'll do them if I can. Is a double McDouble. If it's a McDonald's sandwich, I hate McDonald's. So sorry. Fast foods are terrible. And their food is also terrible. Just make yourself a hamburger at home. I went. Okay, the only times I go to McDonald's is to buy the Happy Meal when there's Pokemon merchandise in it. And that's it. I do it only for the Pokemon merchandise. A short track. Hello, Koda. Shutaker and that word? No, sorry, doesn't ring a bell. Is it like some sort of joke that I'm not getting? Oh. It just made me remember. I haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist in so long. You're welcome, Ruben. Blowing? Sure. I'll do some blowing. Oh, don't worry, Volpo. Get some rest and go to sleep. Good night, Volpo. Sweet dreams. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Track. That's a very funny joke.
FC, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? Thank you for reminding me to stretch.
Yeah, it's a inside joke between me and Chad and Volpo, cause he always stays up super late, and it's a joke to tell him to go to sleep.
Oh, Ruben, good night. Sleep well and have sweet dreams. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
You really are not yourself when you are hungry. With a sneaker and bloody xylophone, little your problems disappear till you come home safe and calm again, okay? Should I read Caps letter? Oh. Actually, I knew when I saw the yo and the U in caps lock, it would be something like in the message.
Wave kiss. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? Peter sucks as a K before the S. You typed that wrong. You stupid fucker.
Oh well, thanks. Oh yeah, we are doing triggers and requests. So if you have a request, feel free to ask and I'll do it for triggers.
Stop tapping.
I just realized you also missed an R in caps lock. Yeah, my axle sucks your dick very hard. Vida, you really think I'll get offended? I don't give a shit what you think. I'm not playing to be better than you. I'm playing because I wanna have fun. Yeah, it really got you. You know, there's no point in fixating of being the best on a video game, because it's not funny anymore. So if you're playing just to say, "Hi, I'm better than anybody else," you're gonna end up getting mad when you start losing, and it's gonna tear yourself down, and you're not gonna want to play that game anymore because you're not really having fun. The only person I get mad to is my boyfriend, but I get mad with him at everything. And it's because he keeps on making stupid fucking comments that gets on my nerves. But I'm not doing that anymore recently. Like, I don't know, it's just because he is my boyfriend. Therefore, there's like this weird friendly, unfriendly competition between us. And it's all on my side. And I don't know why. Like, I get stomped by everybody, but he is the only one that gets on my nerves. But I'm starting to not do that. Like, I'm not getting as mad. Because, the thing is, his problem is that he keeps laughing. But, like, I'm used to people that don't laugh at me, but give, like, friendly advice on, like, oh, you could have done this and that in this situation to free yourself from the combo. Like, shit like that. Even if I lost, I learned something. He just laughs. He just laughs as he's the fucking my voice lines over and over again. And it gets on my nerves because it's not being helpful with my losses. Like, it's not teaching me anything. Yeah, exactly. Like, he says shit like that. I ask you, how do I get out of this combo? How do I get out of the corner? Just like, you can't get out of the corner. That's okay, Key. That's how he does. It's annoying. And it's all fun and games until you play against him. He's able to make everyone mad. It's a special talent. Yeah, I like to give advice. Like advices are good things. I'm just the only one that gets on my nerves. Oh. Yeah, your bro is not on the best path, but try to like understand him a bit. He's like a teenager. He probably like wants to be seen as different and cool, and he doesn't 100% realize what he's doing, and you gotta slap reality on him. Like, if you see him bully someone, like give your bro a spank on the butt, and maybe it works. Remember, violence is not always the solution. Sometimes, like, it doesn't have to be like a strong spank on the butt. You know how you do with children, like, those little spanks that don't really hurt, but like, or better, send him in the corner. Whenever I did something bad, my mom would send me in the corner of my house. She was like, go to the corner and think about your actions, and then come back to me, tell me what you did wrong, and then say sorry. And it actually, like, for me it worked. It's like, after, like, she came by every couple of minutes, she asked, do you know what you did wrong? And I tried to give her answer, like I actually told what I did wrong and why it was wrong, and it worked. Yeah, he can call the police. They will laugh on his face, honestly, like. It's a little spank on the butt. It's not like you hold him at gunpoint. Yeah, but like, you're in the right to be mad at him. Like, it's being an awful person, and he's damaging other kids. Like, I don't think he understands that him bullying others is gonna leave a permanent mark on those other kids. Like, maybe he doesn't say it, but there must be a way to make him understand. Yeah, like, smoking at such a young age, it's even worse. Like, you're way too young, you're gonna damage yourself even more than an adult. Yeah, like Hunter says, just tell him that every wave he takes, his lifespan is gonna go down by a lot. Like, make him scared of smoking. Well, he should be scared of smoking. Actually, it's not funny. It's not cool. He's not cooler because he smokes. Actually, you know what's a deal breaker for me in relationships? Smoke. If the person that I like smokes and I find out about that, it's a deal breaker. Either they seriously work on themselves and stop smoking, or it's done for me. I mean, smoking won't help his reflexes if that's what he thinks smoking will do. I can assure you about that. You're not gonna be faster. You're not gonna have better movement. Actually, smoking is worse, because, like, if you need to go to tournaments, you're most likely not gonna be allowed to smoke, and then you won't be able to concentrate because you hadn't had your daily cig. You should explain to him that he can have all the attention he wants with other things that don't involve ruining his body. I never had to go through these experiences, so I don't really know what advice I could give you besides the one that I've given you already. It's a complicated situation indeed.
Oh, Faroux, good night and sleep well. Thank you for passing by. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, Waterman and Voiceless. Welcome, welcome. I should have a serious conversation with your dad. He can be lazy as much as he wants, but you need to explain to him that it's a serious matter, and that screaming won't solve anything. It will just make things worse. Only if you feel comfortable drunk. Don't feel forced to say private stuff. I don't want to push anybody's boundaries.
Some notifications on Discord. Let me clear them because they're being annoying.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, don't really know what to do in this kind of situations besides trying to talk to your father and calmly explaining things. Maybe talk with your brother's teachers as well. Let them know that your brother's having troubles and if they can do something about it. With the bullying other kids, at least they should be able to help.
Info Mike, hello.
I think the best thing you can do in this case is to talk to other adults that you're close to, or his teachers or the principal. I don't know, it depends on how bad the situation gets, I think. Let me stretch. Oh fuck. To me, it doesn't seem like he wants to talk about it. I don't know if it's because he wants to pass as like a strong kid or something, or because he's scared. But like, talk with his teachers. I think that's the best thing you can do. If neither him or your dad wants to have a civil discussion and listen to you, I'm sure I can. Okay, let me grab something to read.
Let's see. I'll read. So, I'll read. Okay, there is a short story. First time doing inaudible, so be kind with me.
Clock it lies what's not this he said I could cut his car out and did it across the town in his TV sales store. He will start this back so the rich renting it turned out of the basement to walk into the backyard. But for a 40-year-old man he thought okay. Jenny could get any mess with the one. This thing I liked it. It was different this town. It was getting dark. This thing is the lock the red over the screen computer. Turning her face to but so we could just do it or we go for the inverted mixing clerk businessman and drift secretaries. Stop this record for a lot line. And then the store did it up again. The store had been open without him either. Just needed to spell the above for dinner. Covered the record TV. They closed. That's it, seems so. Turned slowly past the small square of the green in the center of the street did not work. There were no parking places in front of Lois TV service. Kirsten whispered and swung the car into the door.
Yeah, but it's not ready.
Kitty passed the square of the green with its sunlight drinking fountain and bench and the single lamp.
Hello, Waterman. Your friendly Reaper. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire King. Sorry, I was coughing.
The love of something would think you should start with the book a little bit. With look at the sword. Let's sword that was with a beard out, but they almost hit. This was some kind. It's actually really hard. I keep getting out of breath while doing this kind of whisper.
Hello, Gilly. Hello, Ninja. Welcome, welcome.
I'm sorry, Nifa. That's as long as I can last for now. But I will practice so I don't get out of breath after just a couple of minutes.
No, you're not at the end.
I was trying to do some unintelligible whispering, but it takes a lot of breath that I don't really have.
What's up, Dandy? Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you?
I will practice though, so I can get better at it.
Yeah, it's breaking. Hurrah! Oh, Majunite. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Oh, I'm happy that you liked it. And I promise you, Mike, that I will get better at it because it is actually a trigger that I particularly enjoy. I mean, I'm not even 1 meter and 50. I do have a small body in general.
The Vampire Gang sounds like November Gang.
What's a November Gang?
Is there like
A gang for the month of November.
it doesn't exist apparently? And Twitter on desktop is still not working. So kinda sad.
Is it working for you guys? Mallory, thank you for reminding me to drink. I have sang a couple of lullabies in the past. But I'm terrible at singing. Hello, Jack. Thank you so much for the watermelons. I appreciate them. Loving Infinity V04. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Maya, thank you for the sub. 18 months. Very bug. Yeah, I can sing something. Okay, I'll sing you. I'll sing you an Italian lullaby, one of the classics. Dr. Lolly, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? Now I am bad, but I will sing for you anyway, just because Maya asked nicely.
Alright. I'll sing you Nina Nana Nino,
Which is an Italian lullaby.
Ninna nanna ninna oh, questo bimbo a chi lo do? Ninna nanna ninna oh, questo bimbo a chi lo do? Se lo do alla Befana me lo tiene una settimana. Se lo do al bove nero me lo tiene un mese intero. Se lo do al lupo bianco me lo tiene tanto tanto. Ninna nanna ninna fate il mio bimbo addormentate.
Are you happy?
No, tipo,
Not that clip. Not that clip. It's in your rape. Don't open that clip. You're gonna be awoken from your cozy sleep if you do. Trust me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah, I do see the blue and pink hair. I am able to distinguish the two colors. Which cave? Good night, Nino. Have a sweet dreams and sleep well. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Mwah. This Underlord kinda startled me a little bit. Are we exploring a cave, guys? Which cave? Are we being chased? I'm confused. But I don't have a cave. I live in a castle. I think you got the wrong cave. Well, the wrong place in general, actually. Unless you're in my catacombs. But you would have had to enter my castle to get into the catacombs. Well, kisses are all sweet, aren't they? But why are you running from me? You're not running from me if you're in a cave. I'm not in a cave right now. I'm in my castle. Are you guys sure you're not running away from something else? Isn't it just your imagination? But I don't live in Ukraine. I'm in Italy. I live in Italy. I've never been to Ukraine. I don't even know if they have like big catacombs. I mean, I suppose they do, because catacombs are everywhere, but hope you're having fun at the least with exploring the caves. Hope it's a cool cave. But I haven't chased you. I'm not in a cave. I live in a castle. I really think you were chased by something else. Maybe you are chased by a skinwalker. He has stolen my skin. Guys, I'm not gonna chase you. You know that I don't like to run. I'm lazy. There's nothing in my castle, it's half destroyed. It's ruined. And it's cold, so I hope you have sweaters keeping you warm. Cause half of the roof is missing. You gotta take a shit drunk. Have a fun trip to the bathroom if that's the case. Yeah, it's... You know, I haven't been in this castle in such a long time. I mean, I've woken up just a couple of years ago from a long slumber. Once, my castle was such a beautiful castle. It had a lot of decorations. It was very warm and welcoming. People, servants, and all kind of guests used to run in the halls and have fun. And my reign was big and glorious, and damn some stupid old vampire hunter decided to burn everything down and put an end to my reign, as if I was damaging them. I'll be nice to humans, you know, but the church didn't think that I was as kind as I truly am, and they tried to kill me, but alas, they failed, and here I am now. Years and years and years and years have gone by, and I have regained my strength. You'll get a better version of the lore, I promise, for my red debut. All that matters now is that nobody is trying to kill me, cause I wouldn't be happy about that, you know. But nobody's trying to do so, and I'm okay with living my life a little more secluded and with a little less people trying to kill me. actually uploading all of my ASMR streams in case you want to listen to them while falling asleep. Oh, thank you, Jack. That is very kind of you. I do love wine and I do love blood, so that is the perfect combination. Yeah. But I can cut. If you want, I can not upload this stream. If you're not comfortable, drug. Or cut this part. Well, the one where you asked for advice, I can cut it from the VOD. Oh, kisses. Okie dokie. I'll cut the part, the truck, no worries. It's not a problem. Welcome, Dima. Rashad. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Alright, I think this is the best moment to hop on the book that I was reading. Yes. There it is. Let's go back to Panda. Oh, that's what's my stomach. I apologize. I think I was around 45. Okay, there it is. So, for those that okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay. The story is about this man, an unnamed protagonist who is recalling strange events of his past. His recalling of events started with him waking up in the middle of the woods during night, and he did not know how he got there, and he managed to get home. And the second recollection of events that is describing is a project from a school teacher called the Balloon Project, where a child wrote a message, a letter in the balloon, and attached to it, and then let the balloon go in the sky, and the person who found the letter could send in a reply to the school that would deliver it to the kid that wrote the letter. So, the reply he received was a weird one. There was just a blurred Polaroid and nothing else. So we are resuming the story at the point where he received a second envelope. I think I will finish the chapter and go to bed earlier tonight too, since I'm a bit tired. Oh, right. There it is. So everybody knows that we're reading a book. My excitement was rejuvenated fully, and I secretly reveled in the fact that it had just gotten a letter, while nearly all of the other pen pals had abandoned their involvement. And actually I'll do some soft-spoken.
Most of my classmates are reading back and forth with their pen pals several times, and the ones who received nothing at all were probably the victims of bad weather and bad luck. The first envelope I had received, however, was tantamount to someone laughing in my face. It seemed as if someone had gone through just enough trouble to let me know that he didn't care. Holding the correspondence in my hand validated my objections to the original arrival. It made sense that I received another delivery. There had been nothing but a blurry picture in the first one. This was probably to make up for that. But again, there was no letter at all, just another picture. The one was more distinguishable, but nothing fully comprehensible. The camera was sharply angled towards the sky. The photograph took the top corner of a building in the bottom left of the frame. The rest of the image was distorted by a lens flare from the sun. I turned the Polaroid over, but again, there was nothing written on the back, and my teacher put her hand on my shoulder and said, "A picture's worth 1,000 words, right?" before walking away towards her desk. A picture's worth 1,000 words. I had never heard that said before. And I sat there for a while trying to decide if I believed it. Because the balloons didn't travel very far, and because they were all launched on the same day, the world became a bit cluttered fairly quickly. If a letter came in with a picture of a place that wasn't already represented on the map, it would be displayed, but otherwise the correspondences were distributed to the recipients so we could take them home as keepsakes on the project. A week or two before the school year ended, the remaining pictures were taken off the map and handed out to their owners. My best friend Josh took home the second highest number of pictures at the end of the year. His pen pal was very cooperative and sent in photographs from all around the neighboring city. Just took home, I think, 4 Polaroids. I took home nearly 50. The envelopes had all been opened by the teacher, but after a while I had stopped even looking at the pictures. However, the photographs were, if nothing else, a collection. And so I saved them in one of my dresser drawers. Those my other collections. The only collections I had found was that either there was simply no way to gather all the things in a series because there was no end to it, or there would always be the last item that made your collection incomplete. In my mind, I suppose the things in the collection weren't as valuable as the completeness of the collection itself. My drawer was a mausoleum of my complete collections of rugs, baseball cards, comic book cards, and little miniature baseball batting helmets that my mother and I would ceremoniously buy from a vending machine at Winn-Dixie after T-ball games. I put the photos in a box and laid it next to my baseball cards. With the school year over and summer break just beginning, I turned my attention to rare things. For Christmas, midway through my year of kindergarten, my mom had gotten me a small snow cone machine. I didn't make very good snow cones, but the fact that I could make them at home now delighted both Josh and me. I came to cover the machine so much that his parents put him a slightly nicer one for his birthday toward the end of the school year. The snow cones produced by John's machine were much bigger and were made much faster than when we would use my machine. Several weeks into the summer break, we decided to take a break from exploring the woods. We would pull our resources and set up a snow cone stand to make money. We thought we would make a fortune selling snow cones at $1. Josh and I lived in different neighborhoods, so we had a conversation about where we should set up shop. As one might have expected, we both wanted to look at the business at our respective houses, so before we even had the cups for the shaved ice, we had our first disagreement. His neighborhood was a bit nicer than mine, but many of the older houses in my neighborhood had slightly larger yards, and as such, the people who actually cared for them had to be outside for longer amounts of time in order to do so. There were also simply more people in my neighborhood, since there were many houses that stood on fairly small plots of land, and the ongoing construction around where I lived meant that there were always people outside on the weekends. Josh rebutted by claiming that his neighborhood was nicer than mine, and this was a thought that had never occurred to me before. I became indignant, and our capacities to engage in a civil and rational discussion became exhausted. Ultimately, I went back and pickled Josh's legitimate reasons by claiming that it was my idea, and so we would do it at my house. The first weekend was a disaster. We had both used our machines before, but to be quite honest, we simply weren't good snow cone producer. We had 2 bottles of syrups, cherry and cherry, so there wasn't to be much variety in terms of flavors. But to our detriment, we had never completely figured out how best to pour the syrup onto the ice, or how much to pour for that matter. So most of our customers had their hands covered in overflowing red dye when they squeezed the paper cups to take their snow cones away. We made about $6 and stopped for the day. We didn't fare much better the second weekend. Josh and I had gotten the hang of the syrup for the most part, but I had the idea that we should use crushed ice in the machines in order to make the snow cones more quickly, since I thought the smaller chunks of ice would shave faster. Instead, the crushed ice became jammed between the blades, and the plastic rubbed inside the machine and broke my snow cone maker immediately. This machine was one of the nicest things that I owned, and so I became flustered when I couldn't get it to work. I took it up and looked inside. I could see chunks of ice that were jammed the blades. And so I picked up the plastic case and banged it on the table a few times in an attempt to dislodge them. Looking up, I could see a potential customer coming. I need to clear the junk quickly. Without thinking, I pushed my hand into the cavity of the snow cone machine and began carefully wrestling the ice out of the space between the blades and inside the wall. I looked up again to recognize the person roamed the weekend before, forgetting that Josh's machine was working fine, turned my attention back to the problem so that I would be ready for our first return customer. I could feel the ice begin to give a pivot a little as the heat from my fingers melted it, almost at the problem result when I hear Josh say, "Hey, what's this button do?" I look over to Josh and saw that he had his finger on the start button on my machine. Reflexively, I yanked my hand out of my snow cone maker, my middle finger catching the blade on the way out. There was a period of just a few seconds where I thought that I had just scratched myself, but a thin red line soon began to quickly draw itself horizontally along the underside of my finger. I watched as the line widened and spread as blood began dripping from my hand. I shot at Josh while he prepared the snow cone on his machine for our anticipated customer, and he said that he was only joking, that he was only going to push the button. He looked genuinely remorseful from what I could tell. Though he seemed to have a problem looking at my hand as he apologized. I think now that Josh had a fear of blood. Yeah, waterman, I'm switching to reading pen pal before going to bed. I want to finish the chapter and I'll be leaving because I'm a bit tired. Josh had already finished pouring the syrup before the customer got to the table, and he held it gingerly so that it wouldn't melt. Holding my finger with the opposite hand, I looked around for something to wrap it in. By the time the customer got out to our stand, the blood had welled up in the tight fist that I was making around my finger and had begun dripping down my forearm. As Josh held the snow cone out to the man, I saw her patron's eyes dart back and forth from the cherry red eyes to my blood red hand. His expression changed from concern to amusement. And finally he said, "You guys sure have put a lot of yourselves into the business." The man followed his exclamation with a guffaw so long and loud that I could still hear it when I went back into the house to show my mom what I had done to myself. When I got back outside, just seeing that the man had bought this snow gun, we decided to quit while we were ahead, so we packed up and went inside. It turned out that my machine wasn't irreparably damaged. Once the ice melted, the jam was cleared, and it began to work again without difficulty. This was good news, because Mrs. picked up the following weekend. Josh and I had taken a substantial break from our explorations in the woods due to a patch of trees that blocked our path, and during that hiatus, I made a new sign to say in big bold letters, "Free snow cones." Josh said, matter-of-factly, that we weren't just going to give snow cones away, and I laughed as I pointed at what I had written in faint pencil just under the advertisement. Just kidding. My neighbor, an elderly woman named Miss Maggie, was our first customer that day. She pretended to be outraged by the ruse, but happily paid us. Before she left, she told us that we would look for us in the lake later that day if we decided to go swimming. We had many more customers that day, and they were all in good sports about their trick, including the man who returned for the third time. I made $18 that day and a little bit less the following weekend. Hello Minimalies, welcome. The fifth weekend would turn out to be our last day of business. My mom would take my snow cone machine away only a couple days later. When I protested, she told me that she didn't want me cutting my hand off, although I had injured myself weeks ago. Even at that age, I thought that this later action was bizarre. Because Josh and I both had a snow cone machine, we each had a separate stack of money that we put together into one pile, and we then split it evenly. When there was enough numbers of bills, I would play paper, rock, scissors to see who would get to keep the extra bill. I called this decision-making ritual gaming. The day we had made a total of $17, primarily from the same people we had been selling to since we started our business. After we stopped selling for the day, Josh was diving up the spoils, and as he paid out my first dollar, I was consumed by a feeling of profound bewilderment. The dollar said, "For stamps." I must have caused was surprised because Josh noticed my shock and asked if he had miscounted. "No, the dollar. Josh, that's $1 a cent." "What?" "That's the dollar, man. The one I sent." "What dollar? What are you talking about?" Seeing the dollar here in my hand befuddled me, and I struggled to compose myself so I could explain more clearly. "From the balloon. I sent it off with the balloon. Remember? I put it in the envelope in my letter." Just pondered this for a moment before deciding what this meant. "That's so cool!" he shouted. Spanish by 5525, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. And Demon, thank you for reminding me to drink. As I thought about it, I came to agree. The idea that the dollar had made it right back to me after changing so many hands staggered me. I had no way of knowing how far the balloon had traveled, but whatever the distance had been, this was still amazing. Whoever found my balloon must have put some stamps at the post office. And then slowly and incrementally, the dollar had worked its way right back to me. I rushed inside to tell my mom, but my excitement coupled with her distraction from an in-progress phone call made my story incomprehensible to her, to the point that she responded simply by saying, "Oh wow, that's neat," just to block at me. Frustrated, I ran back outside and told Josh I had something to show him. We turned on the opposite step to my front door. I ran immediately to my room. I opened the collection drawer, took out the box of envelopes, and showed Josh some of the pictures. I started with the first picture and went through about 10 before I lost interest in looking at poorly angled and meaningless Polaroids. I grew irritated with his disinterest. My pen palette in these pictures, and today, after countless transactions, the dollar he used to send the photographs had landed right back in my hand. This was almost too much for me to take in. The sheer improbability of it all. Even the most minor alteration would have changed things entirely. If Josh had paid the first dollar to himself, I probably would never have even noticed my returning, defaced currency. Josh, however, had become completely disengaged and asked if I wanted to go play in the ditch before his mom came to pick him up. I responded distracted and almost dismissive agreement as I shoveled through the envelopes.
I'm reading a story track.
I'm not sure how the routine was born, but the ditch had become a battleground to Josh and me. Nearly every time we stepped into the ditch, one of us would lob a cloud of dirt at the other, and this will catalyze a full-scale assault in both directions. It probably started with a single, playful dose of a dried mess of compacted dirt, but it became nearly impossible for us to step into that arena without almost instantly entering into a standoff. We enjoyed these battles so much and showed them out with much frequency that that ditch became the ditch without us ever noticing. That day was no exception to the rule of combat, but the war game was persistently interrupted by rustling in the woods around us. We were used to the sounds. There were raccoons and stray cats that lived in the woods by my house, but there seemed to be a little too much noise coming from the forest floor for it to be caused by either of those things. As we continued the battle, we traded guesses at what the source of the ruckus was in an attempt to scare one another. Playing games like this gradually will lead to the games I will play by myself when exiting the woods as the sun rolled away. My last guess was that it was a mummy, but in the end, Josh kept insisting that it was a robot because of the sounds that we heard. As if we were living, I think that if it was a robot, it would have made much more noise, but Josh shook this off and became a little serious. He looked at me right in the eyes and said, "You heard it, didn't you? It sounded like a robot. You heard it too, right?" I heard it, and since it sounded mechanical, I agreed that it was probably a robot. It's only now, looking back, that I understand what we heard. When we got back to my house, Josh's mom was waiting for him at the dining room table with my mom. Josh told his mom about the robot. Her mom's laughed, and Josh went home. My mom and I ate dinner, and then I went to bed. I tried to sleep, but I was feeling restless. Josh might not have been interested in the photos, but after seeing that dollar, I could think of virtually nothing else. Before too long, I climbed down from the top bunk and took the box out of the envelopes out of my dresser drawer. I took out the first envelope, set it on the floor, and placed a blurry desert Polaroid that had been inside of it on top. I laid the second envelope right next to it and put the oddly angled Polaroid of a building's top corner over it. I did this with each picture and held it from a grid that was about 5x10. I was taught to always be careful with the things that I was collecting, even if I wasn't sure whether they were valuable or not. I realized that I hadn't actually looked at the majority of these pictures before. I may have paid them a passing glance when I opened the envelope to look for a letter, but upon being reliably disappointed, I would simply close the envelope and put it with the others. As I looked at them now, I noticed that the pictures gradually became more distinct. I scanned my eyes over the Polaroids. There was a tree with a bird on it, a speed limit sign, a power line, a group of people walking through some building. Right as my eyes were about to move on to the next photo in the sequence, they froze and focused on something that vexed me so powerfully that I can now, as I write this, distinctly remember feeling dizzy and capable of only a single, repeating thought. Why am I in this picture? In the photograph of the group of people entering the building, I saw myself holding hands with my mother at the very back of the crowd of people. We were at the very edge of the photo, but it was us. As my eyes swam over the sea of Polaroids, I became increasingly anxious. It was a really odd feeling. It wasn't fear. It wasn't the feeling you get when you are in trouble. I'm not sure why I was flooded with the feeling, but I was floundering in the distinct sense that I had done something wrong. This feeling all intensified as I finally managed to break my gaze and look at the rest of the pictures. I was in every photo. None of them were close shots, none of them were only of me, but I was in every single one of them. Off to the side, in the back of a group, at the bottom of the frame. Some of the pictures had only a tiniest part of my face captured at the very edge of the photo, but nevertheless, I was there. I was always there. Hello Toast, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow, and welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? For a moment, I tried to imagine this whole thing as one tremendous coincidence, but I knew that it wasn't. And I sat there stunned. I didn't know what to do. Your mind works in funny ways as a kid. There was a large part of me that was afraid of getting in trouble simply for still being awake. I wanted to wake up in my mother. I wanted to tell her that there was something wrong here. I wanted to run into her bedroom and throw the pictures into her comforter and just shout, "Look!" and have her hug me and tell me that everything was going to be fine, that I had nothing to be afraid of. But I just sat there with the looming feeling of having made some irreparable transgression. I decided I would wait until the morning. Oh nice, I'm happy that it's raining. I wish it rained here too. It's been a while. The next day, my mom was off work and spent most of the morning cleaning up around the house. I started blankly at the cartoons on the television and waited until I thought it was a good time to show her the Polaroids. When she went out to get the mail, I grabbed a couple of the pictures and put them on the table in front of me. I sat waiting for her to come back in. I wouldn't even think of how to begin, and I dug my fingernails into the chipping paint of the table as I tried desperately to think of the perfect way to explain everything. When she returned, she was already opening the mail. I heard her throw some junk mail into the trash can, and I took a deep breath and forced words out of my mouth. Mom, can you come here? I have these pictures. Just give me a minute, honey. I need to mark these on the calendar. After a moment, she came and stood behind me and asked me what I needed. I could hear her shuffling with the mail, but I just looked at the Polaroids and told her about them. I reminded her about the balloon project and how I had gotten a picture in my first correspondence. I told her that after the one they just kept coming, but I never said anything because they were just stupid pictures. I dug my fingernails harder into the table. I told her that I had saved them all and had gotten so excited when the dollar came back that I stayed up late looking at all the photos. As I went on in my explanation and pointed to the pictures, her frequent uh-huhs and okays decreased, and she was suddenly completely quiet and making all a little noise with the mail. I had run out of things to say, but I couldn't turn around and face her. I waited for her to say something, but the next noise I heard from her sounded as if she were trying to catch her breath in a room that had no air left in it. At last, she subdued her strangling gasps, simply dropped the remaining mail on the table right next to me, and ran to the kitchen to get a cordless phone. Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't know about this. Don't be mad at me. With the phone pressed to her ear, she was alternating running and walking back and forth while shouting into the mouthpiece. I couldn't understand what she was saying or who she would be calling. Was he my teacher? No, it wasn't her fault. I nervously fiddled with the mail that was sitting next to Polaroids I had arranged. Top envelope had something sticking out of it that I toothlessly and anxiously pulled out, and the lid came out. It was another Polaroid. Confused, I thought that somehow one of my Polaroids had slipped into the stack when she threw the mail down, but when I turned it over and looked at it, I realized that I had not seen this one before. It was me, but this one was a much closer shot. I was surrounded by trees and was smiling, but it wasn't just me. Josh was there too. I felt my mouth go dry as I realized that this was us from yesterday. Maximian, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? I started yelling for my mom, who was still screaming into the phone. As I called to her more loudly, she shouted more loudly into the phone to compensate, and this exchange repeated until she finally responded with, "What?" Suddenly, I had her attention, but I didn't know what to do with it. I could only think to ask, "Who are you calling?" "I'm talking with the police, honey." "But why? I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do anything. Please, Mom." She answered me with a response that I never understood until I was forced to revisit these events from the earliest years of my life. She grabbed the envelope off the table and the picture Josh and I spun and slid, landing next to the other Polaroids in front of me. She held the front of the envelope up to my eyes, but I couldn't only look at her and watch as all the color began draining out of her face, and if something was stiffening in the life right of her. With tears welling up in her eyes, she said that she had to call the police because there was no postmark. And that is the end of the chapter. We're at page 48. Oh, I am super sleepy. Super sleepy, so I'll call stream off earlier today because unfortunately I can't stay longer than that. While parading Nazo Aizuru, she just got a partner and she's celebrating it. So be nice and drop her a follow. Okay, here is the right message that you can copy and paste. Sorry, I will say longer, but I am completely dead. You can join the Discord and follow my socials if you wish. And you can take a look at my throne too if you want to give me a little gift or suggest something for me to buy. Again, thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, so at midnight.
Good night. Sleep well. And sweet dreams.